I think the guys, those producers at was it MGM, Meyer, something, and Meyer. I think they were probably the worst. Mayor. Yeah, they probably were the worst kind of. Ooh, can you imagine doing those times?
Oh, they was running through them.
Yeah. Then you have people like, oh God, I don't want to bring that up because that's bringing up the community again. Let me.
Who?
The guy, he was the first guy to ever get to have AIDS. His name was Rock Hudson. Yeah, he was so handsome back in the day, but he had parties. He had Diddy parties. No Diddy.
No, Diddy's a rock.
But they were men.
A lot of gays have Diddy parties. It's pretty cool to have like an orgy party.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Back in the 50s
more than one dick in a room is gay. More than one dick in a room is gay.
It's funny because there was this there was this whole meme that kept going around. This girl had found like this really expensive blue couch on like the streets of New York. It was just on the street, and she took it. And there was this video that came out after because like it went viral, but like it went viral simply because she took a random couch off the street. Like that's just a big no. But then another video came out of like where the couch came from, and it came from a house filled with a bunch of gay guys having an orgy. Like there was a POV from like someone recording from the window, like because their window wasn't covered, and yeah, that's where the couch. All you see is the couch and a bunch of gay naked guys on the couch. And
oh my God, was this in LA or where was it?
It was in New York City.
Oh God, yeah, anything. Studio 54 type shit.
She wasn't worried about like fleas, bed bugs, anything like that.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it went viral. Like her couch went viral, and then that other.
What year was this?
Viral. It wasn't even. It hasn't even been a year ago. It was probably last.
Oh shit! Summer. Yeah, she's crazy.
Yeah, it was last summer. It's just funny because like gay orgy couch.
Well, what they used to do was called a casting couch, where let's say someone invited you to an audition and they expect you to come up to the hotel room, and they would, a couch, you know what I mean, to get the role. So yeah, the Marilyn Monroes and folks like that, and Dorothy Dan. I don't know if Dorothy Dan. She probably did. Most likely.
Yeah, what's the girl? White girl, curly hair. She was real famous. She was a little kid star. Curly food, shit like that.
You talking about
she was real
Shirley Temple? Shirley Temple?
Yes. She did an interview. She did an interview on Larry King because they was replaying it. It was all over. Boy, she was saying she was at parties. Like she was like 9
years old. Drew Barrymore too. Remember Drew Barrymore? She was like a little child actress too. That's how they all did those people. They just didn't say anything. They didn't have social media.
They ain't saying nothing, man. That's why I tell them my kids ain't gonna listen to rap music. They ain't listen to that.
The reason they didn't say anything because they wasn't alone. It was part of the
part of the
culture back then. They all had stories to tell. Oh, you remember when this happened to me? Oh yeah, that was so crazy, right? Yeah, that was it.
So guys, I have a question. The American women are given birth at record low rates. The total fertility rate fell to 1.6. It hasn't been this low in over 100 years. How do you guys think?
So Timothy, are you going to have some babies? What are you going to do about it?
No, I'm not from the US. I already have a baby.
So why are you worried about it? They don't make
what's the deal?
Why do you think it is?
Because nobody don't want it. They don't have no money. People don't have money for that.
Bring up. Because we need more impoverished people to come here so they can
so you guys don't think it has to do with the vaccines?
No, America's downsizing.
What do you mean vaccine? Y'all been believing in all types of bullshit. What tinfoil hat shit did you learn that shit at?
Well, I'm listening to legit studies. Legit.
Stop doing that. Stop doing that, sir. And they're coming in these rooms asking us that stuff. We don't listen. No. Mm-mm.
So I'm saying you didn't take the vaccine.
I don't know.
Good for you. Things worked out for you. You've never taken the vaccine. So you've never taken the vaccine.
I didn't say that. I didn't take the COVID vaccine.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I just checking.
To me, it's really weird that it's this low since over a century. It's really weird to me. But
Is this what?
It's really weird to know that it's low, that we're not having babies in the U.S. My God.
in over 100 years, it hasn't been.
Because it's not the same society as 100 years ago. Like, it's more highly developed. Niggas is waiting longer. Niggas is living their life. More opportunity to do shit than just pop out babies. Nigga,
Let me tell you this. Bill Gates.
you don't live on a farm where you need 10 kids. Come on, bro. Let's be real. Don't come with stupid questions.
Listen, man, let me tell you this. Bill Gates said that he could reduce population with 50% if the vaccines were successful. That's it. Those are his words.
When did he say that? When did he say that?
If you want the video, I will share the video.
Put the link in.
I will. Put the link in. Give me a second.
But you know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to be charged to free Sean Coleman. Because he's a piece of shit. He is a piece of shit. And so I don't go around simping for pieces of shit.
But he posted something that said that the birth rates have been declining since the 30s. So what would the vaccine and Bill Gates have to do with that if it's been happening for like...
No, it hasn't been this low since 1930.
You know that this is like a global consideration and it didn't just happen prior to the vaccine?
What'd you say? Oh, thank you.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, like it's not a drastic, it was not like an immediate change, right? So this is happening globally. So we know that birth rates have been declining for a while. This is nothing new.
It's with more women coming into the workforce, being able to work. They're not stuck to being married and having babies.
Right,
I don't know.
literally.
It's a whole new world, baby. Don't you know it's a whole new world?
Yeah, I mean, if you have other options, and despite all the advances in technology and medical improvements, like for example, Black women still have a disproportionate rate of dying 3 times the rates of others in this country. Like we literally have horrible maternal rates for Black women in this country than even some quote unquote third world countries, as we like to call them, which is terrible. So plus the cost of living and all of these things. So I don't think it's a conspiracy theory. There are less people getting married. There are less women having babies because people are choosing other, right? You're not your parents. You're not your grandparents. So I don't see why this is a conspiracy. If y'all were 25, 50 years ago, y'all would have already been married with children. Or, I mean, nothing is stopping you from doing that now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're talking about the silent generation during the 30s, right? So you're talking about an average, and everything is averaging out. Just like Mickey said, this is not a phenomenon that's just like taking over. So that's, yeah, he's probably gone. Oh, no, he's still here.
He didn't say 50. He said 10 to 15%, but I will share the link in the chat, okay?
But then what does it mean to you, though?
So what's the problem?
I'm just sharing information, guys. I'm just saying what Bill Gates said about depopulation.
No, but you came. I'm trying to figure out. You came and told us the birth rates is less than whatever 100 years ago, and it's not the same America 100 years ago. If it was the same America, I'd be worried. Buddy, but it's not.
I'm just sharing information with you.
So why are you information? No, you're not.
What's the problem?
No, you said some random shit, and I'm asking you.
And it was from Twitter. Your source is from Twitter.
Yeah,
My
you
source
did
is from Bill Gates' mouth.
You said some random shit, and then when I
Well, why
try
are
to
you
question
getting
you,
so
you ain't
upset,
no shit
sir?
else to say.
You're
So just
acting
stay
like
on
I'm
mute,
sharing
bro.
shit from Twitter, but these are Bill Gates' own words.
Come
Listen one minute.
on. Timothy.
Mm.
Just stop. Timothy, go ahead, stop, bro.
Why you fighting that?
Listen, man, Kaboom, sharing information is a bad thing, right, in your world.
But you need to
No,
show the full TED Talk. Prior to
You
this
said
TED Talk,
Then you
he
watch
actually
the
said
clip. Watch the full clip, Mickey. I shared you the most
he
essential
showed
part.
the clip, not the full TED Talk. This has been debunked a lot of
Thank you.
times.
It
He
hasn't
was
been
actually
debunked.
saying,
He literally
may I
says
finish,
it.
please? He was literally saying that vaccines have cut down, right, on the deaths of some children in these countries. That's what he was saying. Because you know that there are a lot of countries in the world that do not have access to the quality of health care that you probably do in Europe and America, that vaccines have contributed to healthy babies. But if you want to call someone out, Timothy, since you want to go there, right? Why were you not upset at China, which literally had the two baby policy, right? To where the fact that there were people in the 80s and the 90s that would go to China. One child, I'm sorry. There were video, which is also why I'm not a fan of Planned Parenthood, by the way, because they actually went over there and helped to craft that policy. Why weren't you calling China out for decades? Do you know what they used to do to baby girls after they had that one child? Like, I even ran into someone here in Houston. She literally had to be smuggled out of the country. This was years ago, because she was pregnant with her second child and she was terrified that the government would make her have an abortion. So why don't you call that out instead of Bill Gates? Like, and now China, the irony is that China is crying, begging women to have children, when for decades, they forced them to only have one baby, and now they're literally standing over there with egg on their face because they're pleading with women to have children, and they're like, no, y'all didn't want us to have kids. So why don't we call out countries like that had those policies versus Bill Gates?
So, Mickey,
hold on. So I was asking what you meant.
yeah, let me jump in. Just because, like, Timothy's right that when Bill Gates said that vaccines help reduce the birth rate, he said what he said. There's some weird elitist scientific stance around vaccination and mortality rates and birth rate, where they feel as though one way to regulate the amount of people living in poverty or minimize the amount of people living in poverty is through sustainable population control, right? The idea is if there's too many people, then there's not enough resources, people are living in poverty. So we can reduce poverty by reducing population to a certain extent. There's a weird scientific link between mortality rates being low and then also birth rates being low as a cause-effect correlation thing, a direct correlation. I don't know what it all is. I'm not a scientist. I've never looked it up. I know there's research papers out there and articles that explain it to an extent, but Timothy's not wrong, and Bill Gates has long held the position that sustainable population control is a net benefit to the world. I don't think I disagree with them to an extent, right? Like, I think it kind of is common sense. There's a finite number of resources. Therefore, we cannot have an infinite number of people to distribute those to. It makes sense to me. I just don't know
when
if
people
Timothy
have all
understands.
these
Hold on,
kids, people are upset.
Just to land my plane, I don't know if Timothy really knows what the fuck he's actually talking about either. Because what I know about Timothy is that he listens to half an hour of Andrew Tate podcasts and then comes on fucking Clubhouse to talk about whatever he
blah, 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 yeah. Sure.
I knew it. It's like, why you come in here, man? Why?
For the same reason.
So wait, you accusing Timothy of being part of the manosphere?
I don't know what he's part of, but he came in here with it almost like a motive or something.
I don't know, Mr. Finley. Do you know anything about that?
What did I do? I just shared some knowledge. Why the fuck are you people butthurt? butthurt about it. I'm just
Nah,
saying.
it's
You're
not that
cussing
you
right
was
now. You're
butthurt.
cursing,
I'm
and
asking, where's your point? What are you standing on? You just
Back
brought the
how there,
information,
Timothy. Back.
and then I didn't ask you. You didn't say nothing else. What did you stand on? You just said,
Shut the
you
fuck
know,
up.
the
Don't talk to me, bro.
depopulation, bitches
Don't
is
talk
not
to me,
having
you
babies.
fucking
I don't
idiot.
care. Tell me, so what do you think about it? What's the reasoning? You ain't say shit, so you didn't have no point of view. So shut up.
I was asking you guys, what do you think?
Why y'all dogpiling Timothy, bro? Come on.
I'm not dogpiling. Don't ask me about what I think. When you don't know what you, I'm asking you what you think.
Let's
Hey, Eric, don't do that. Don't say that.
conversation. How about that?
Don't do that. Don't try to say do, because he's not trying to stand on
the
nothing.
problem is
I don't like
people
niggas
always
that
want to
just
know
speak
what we think about something, but really don't
Well,
care
what do
we
y'all
think.
think about
That's
the
why.
general
That part
theory
was
that sustainable population
It's
control
just
is actually
irky that real talk. It's like people really don't care what we think. They just want to
I
come in
fucking
and
care. That's why I'm asking.
stir the pot.
I really care. That's why I asked the question.
No, you don't. Because when I asked you what do you stand, you said I don't
One
have
mic
no
on
opinion.
Mr. Finn.
How the fuck you gonna ask me a
told you what I
question
thought,
and then you don't have nothing to stand on? Don't do that.
I
Then
told
don't
you
ask
what
the
I
question.
believe.
Don't ask the
I told
question if
you
you don't
what
have nothing to
I
stand on.
said.
I hate
I
that
already
shit, bro.
told you. I already told you. I think it's because of the vaccines. You guys don't think it's
You
because of the
said it's
vaccines.
because of the vaccine. Well, that's some random shit to say. That's another shit that's
It's not
important to
random when
avoid.
the birth rate hasn't been this low in over 100 years. What the fuck are you talking about?
But do
After
you
the
know
introduction of the
why
vaccine.
the birth rate is this low? Like, how many kids do you have? You better have 5 kids talking about the birth rates are low. Do you have 5 kids yourself?
So
You're talking about
I'm serious. Like, how many kids do you have?
Yo, mods, can we get some muting action?
I know you don't. Wait a minute. You only have one child talking about the birth rates are low. You're the reason why. Why don't you ask you and your wife
I'm
how
not
come
the
y'all don't
reason,
have more
you
kids?
fucking moron.
Wait
I'm
a
not the
minute.
reason for the
You're
birth
talking about the birth rate is low and you only have
one.
one child? Are you freaking kidding me? This is so Clubhouse. This is so Clubhouse. You want everybody else to have some more damn kids, but you don't want to. Okay.
And what's crazy, you're from the Netherlands, so they gonna pay you to have kids. They'll take care of you. So you should be
Hey,
like,
wait a minute.
right now.
And
So
he's in the
He's
Netherlands.
right. He's
Bro.
disingenuous, man. Don't come in here with that shit, man.
What the fuck is you talking about? You bum ass. You are dead to the duty of having more babies.
Blah, 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 blah. You
Yeah,
talk
you and
right.
I
Only
think they take care
nonsense.
of you.
You're only talking nonsense. Share some knowledge.
So he want us to have more babies.
I just want to say something real quick.
I want to get in here. Hold on a second.
Go ahead, my back.
I've been waiting to stop Yadmer to get in. So I got 2 schools of thought on this. Well, my first school of thought is it would reckon to reason that if vaccines are actually saving people, which they are, I mean, prior to COVID, vaccines actually save lives. So it wouldn't make sense. If you want a population control, you would let nature do what it does and let the diseases ravage those and control populations that way. But we are at historically low birth rates because prior to the Industrial Revolution, we had very high birth rates. After the Industrial Revolution, they kind of dropped off significantly with a slight bump during the baby boomers era. Now, the reason could be, yes, vaccines are saving lives. Therefore, we're not on farms anymore, number 1. Number 2, vaccines are saving lives, so you're not having kids to replace the ones that are going to probably die. That's my school of thought of that. Because it was super high in the 1800s, like double what it was in the freaking 1930s and 40s, which is the boomer.
So just to clarify what I was saying, though, Mr. Finley, there's a Reuters article in the chat that actually supports exactly what I just told you, and there's a publication on the NIH website that goes into full detail about immunization use to regulate fertility. This type of stuff actually does exist. The question is, is it actually wrong? Is it bad to have a way to somehow reduce poverty across the world?
No, that's it. It's not feasible. But I will say this, though. Birth rates have been steadily declining since the 1980s, way before COVID pandemic was even a thing. And that was due to the recent access to abortion and a whole bunch of contraceptions that recently came out, and life expectancy started to rise, and people just didn't want to have kids. So it's if you look at the chart of the birth rate for every nation, Western nation, it's been decreased since the 1980s.
I'll post another chart too, Eric. This
as we
goes
speak,
back to 1800.
Yeah, because as you know, developing society.
They did a meta-analysis, I think, in 2021 to see if there was a correlation between taking the vaccine and if it affected male and female reproductive organs. And they found that there's no effect on the reproductive organs of females or males when you take the COVID vaccine. I can provide the study.
Thank you, Eric. And like I was saying, you don't got to get to knowing, like, you know what I'm saying, the specific data. Common sense will tell you shit like that. Common sense will tell you that with the access of education, more opportunities, cost of living going up higher, people don't want to have babies at 25 when I can go travel the world if I got money. Are you crazy? So you coming here with that article to tell us about birth rates is low, and you live in the Netherlands where they give you money to have more babies, and you're not doing your job, you better go check yourself out and get yourself vaccinated so you could produce more babies. Dummy.
Actually, money is the reason that marriage rates and birth rates are down. Money.
Now, do we really need people like Timothy reproducing, guys?
No.
This is my way to regulate population, is to tell people who can and cannot reproduce.
Now this is
Limit reproduction and household family size based on income to it.
I think there's other factors too, like the consideration
And
of
like
the extended food deserts, which they try to take into account to say that there are food shortage and healthy food options, right?
Bullshit,
Yeah, I know. But this is what these scientists have concocted with, these certain rhetorics and stuff like that. And I gotta remember what that organization name is that actually
the one that talks about food desert?
Yeah, that talk about food deserts and measures it along the lines of the population and area and stuff like that to say that
health.
Yeah, no, they use their information, but it's another organization that actually, you know what I'm saying, take that information kind of, you know what I'm saying, go by the population.
Yeah, I guess. But you know what those people are doing too? They're like I feel as though they're misunderstanding what a food desert actually is. If food deserts do exist in America, these are out in the rural areas, the sticks and the mountains. These are out there in the open lands. Like, if you live in a suburban or urban or even slightly off a suburban, you're not going to
You've never been to a grocery store. You haven't been to a grocery store.
This is what they define by food deserts.
Here we go.
Actual healthy food options and the ability to afford them.
And how far does it say that radius is?
You know what? So yeah, that's food desert. That goes by. It goes by. Go ahead, bro.
I'm gonna say food desert is a term that came about during the Obama administration, and I forget the exact program that made this term come about. But basically, what it means is areas of heavily urbanized concentrations of poor people that have no access to healthy and nutritious food sources, right? So the only food sources they have is junk food and fast food, and they're not able to get to fresh produce or good meats. And those do exist in heavily urbanized cities where the nearest Walmart or farmer's market is an hour away, and there's no way to get there because you don't own a car or the bus route don't go there. So there is food deserts in the middle.
Where in America are there food deserts? Where there's not a grocery store within?
There's places like in New York, in Chicago, Philadelphia.
How far up north state?
What do you mean?
So this is hold on. You gotta realize the income disparity.
I'm just saying, what kind of conversation are we having? Are you talking about within the boroughs? Where in New York does this food desert exist that you're talking about?
I literally just said it.
So if you go to Flatbush and you go to the meat section, you'll see the difference in the type of meat that you're getting in certain areas. Don't believe that you're getting the same.
Flatbush is in Brooklyn.
It's healthy.
Yeah.
Food that's
Or no, better yet, go to the Bronx. Go to a Bronx grocery
the
store,
Bronx is worse.
and then go to their meat section and see the difference. And then if you go to, say, Manhattan, you go to a grocery store and see the difference. I would say just check the meat section. Fuck the produce.
Well, let me
So hold on.
We did. It's basically, places with shortage of healthy food options within a certain radius.
Within an hour.
Right. And so, like Tampa, was once now they recently.
Give me an example of one in Tampa.
Right. So, I just naming Tampa. You know what I'm saying? Seminole. You familiar like with the Seminole projects and all that?
Seminole Heights district.
Seminole Heights.
I know the Seminole Heights district very well. Hold on, it's right off of the interstate and major state road. Right.
Right.
That's where Seminole Heights is. It's at a major central spot.
So they were
even in its darkest days, that wouldn't have been a food desert in my opinion, bro.
That's your opinion, bro. They actually labeled that as one of the food desert spots.
It can't be. It's a 3 mile radius. It doesn't take more than 20 minutes to get to a grocery store. Never.
It's more than that.
Maybe 150 years
being far. It's the type of food that they have in it. It's very limited.
Yeah.
Jesus, explain to him what it is. It's not just, you got to walk
He said a grocery store.
Right there in your block. But the food
you
is
go
so
to a Kroger
good.
or an Aldi, ma'am, respectfully,
Baby,
or a
we're not
Publix
talking
that's
about
been
Kroger.
around for 35 years at least.
Maybe Kroger.
Ma'am, with all due
Kroger
respect,
and
I know the geography of this area, ma'am. Right? Like, I know the geography of where he's talking about.
Yeah, but you're looking at it.
I'm going to have to show you another one.
Yeah.
Give him
You're
another.
looking at it as far as
I'm talking about Publix, Aldi, Target, and Walmart all being within 35 minutes of Seminole Heights for the last decades.
They're not food deserts, baby.
According to Kendo, it is, ma'am.
No, man. I don't know what's so hard for you to understand, bro. Like, why? I know that you're white and you don't.
Yeah, they changed it. They changed it over the years.
It really don't affect
it was once labeled that.
I'm going to tell you guys the reason I disagree with it. It's not about an area. It's about conditions.
It's barely food
It's about
in
the
there.
conditions that you live. It is more difficult to get to a grocery store as it gets further away. I understand that, obviously, right? And the ability to get there is even more restricted when you're limited to public transportation or maybe wheels that aren't motorized, right? Like, I understand that obviously makes it way harder to get to the grocery store rather than the local McDonald's at the corner, right? But where you define a food desert, you're talking about, okay, so it's this entire area rather than a household by household issue.
It's not just
it is, bro. You can go to the USDA website, bro. They literally has it defined.
Yeah,
hold on. I think he's just missing this part of it.
Kendo, instead of
I'm trying, V. I'm trying.
If I were to talk about where a food desert exists in America, Kendo, I'd be talking about out in Choctaw Nation.
You also have to consider what they consider
Fayetteville,
healthy
Arkansas.
food options. Like healthy food options is determined by what's sold predominantly at that food grocery store, whether it's more artificial stuff and it's more healthy stuff. So that's how they collect the data on that. And they seeing that, it's more artificial stuff, being sold, then that could be
food, stuff like that, oodles and noodles, that kind of crap. Meat that's been there forever. The corner stores, they're not Kroger's, they're not Whole Foods, they're not Aldi's. You understand, baby? You have people coming in their trucks.
What we're talking about.
Yeah, they're coming in
trucks. There's Walmarts in every one of these major cities.
High-rises in Baltimore, yeah. I work with them. I help.
I mean, Walmart vegetables and produce aren't top-notch, but they're still edible.
If you go to the USDA
absolutely, but people don't live near the
website, and they will explain to you.
They don't live near those places to
what
get
food
those
it is and what they categorize it as, and then you go a step farther on the USDA website when they define it, and they'll tell you the areas and who's affected the most. And I guarantee you, there's a lot more urban people that's affected by it than there is rural people, and they even say that.
I put a link in the chat that gives the definition, and it addresses what Eric was saying. I'm sorry. I just put the link in the chat.
Thank you, Alicia. Yeah, especially in my city and different sectors and things like that in Baltimore City. I live in a suburb of the city, but I grew up there. So, of course, my obligation is to make sure I get back there. So those are what it is, Florida. Walmart's are excellent. So, if they could get to them. If they could just get to those stores.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, the post says that it's defined as an area that with a poverty rate greater than or equal to 20% of the median family income.
There's other stipulations too. Read a little bit further down.
Yeah, you're gonna read one sentence of this there.
Yeah, you got me. There's a little bit more to it too.
And he coming back like, oh, well, I got that part of it. Well, let's just,
No, it's the other part, too, that I have a major issue with. The fact that there's a 1 hour radius. There's grocery stores within a 1 hour radius in almost every city throughout America that's populated.
They wouldn't be making the stat if it was true.
You mean a 1 mile, baby.
The income area restriction, on the other hand, is a different conversation, one that I feel is more credible, right? But then poverty, like food desert, isn't the most accurate word for what this thing is. Because again, it's not. It's a family household by household issue at the core.
So what do you call? What would you propose? Let me just dialogue with you. What would you propose if there was a family that lived on a block? And they had a corner store that gave them, let's say, I'm going to give it to you, chicken, they had canned goods, things of that nature, milk, eggs, but the store was ran down, the food is smelling, they can't get to the Walmart that is, let's say, I'm thinking of an area, they couldn't even get to it on a bus because it's out of the bus location.
I can give you a specific location.
Why not build those stores?
In Fort Worth, Texas. I'm sorry, I was in the audience. I had my hand raised forever. Thank God the mods are awake now. But I was trying to give an example, specifically in urban areas. In Fort Worth, Texas, which is where I am from. You understand? Where I am from. In specific parts of the east side, there's no grocery stores. They have Family Dollars and Dollar Trees, which if you understand, there's no fresh fruit, no fresh vegetables in those types of stores, right? They've shut down Minyard, Save-A-Lot, all these different things, which already had a poor quality of food anyway. I love that when Sis mentioned corner stores and things. We're not going to qualify that because I've been in there. Do you know how many of those foods are actually expired that a lot of those Middle Easterns are selling? And like, we can't be for real. Now, I live downtown. Right? I live 2 miles away from Central freaking Market. When I tell you the access is different, I can walk across the street to Target. That's not a food desert because where I am, I can walk even if you took transportation away. There are parts in Fort Worth, even if you took public transit, you would not get high quality fresh fruit, fresh produce. And I honestly think that this guy, I don't know if he's deep and rooted in bias, but I think the fact that people are expressing to this guy, yes, that you can have food deserts, particularly in the hood. That's why there's a McDonald's on every corner. not a salad to go, not a salada, not a cava. You understand? A lot of, when you look at the capitalistic society, they feed into this, right? They're only going to go to those areas where you have more affluence or higher earners, right? He can't. This is where I live. You in Fort Worth, you have to live downtown if you want decent access, right, to good quality schools, X, Y, and Z. So to say that, and I'm lumping them together because it's all in one. It affects the educational system, the food, all of it. And so to act like it's not impacting these poor people, literally poor people, it does. And so it forces them to be restricted to your Dollar Trees and your Dollar Generals, these fake synthetic foods. That's not high quality meat. There's not real high quality sandwich meat. There's no boar's head. There's not fresh sliced turkey meat going on. So I think it's a point of privilege that he's speaking from when you have people that are trying to tell you this shit really does exist. And it's in my city.
Thank you, Ayana.
Thank you.
I wanted to just kind of give you a lay of actually what they said. The cities that have been significantly affected by food deserts, right? The top cities. So Memphis, Tennessee, the city has one of the highest percentage of populations living in food deserts. Approximately 32% of Memphis residents are low income and live in areas with insufficient access to groceries. The Bronx, New York, known as one of the poorest areas of the country, many residents in the Bronx are forced to shop at local corner stores with a very limited selection of fresh vegetables. Now, this one kind of shocked me, but they said San Francisco, California, certain neighborhoods like Bayview, Hunters Point, Vista Coin Valley, some of the poorest in San Francisco also face significant challenge related to food deserts. So what they said is, is heavily concentrated in southern states, correlating with the concentration of poverty, but also rural areas in the West, Midwest, and the South have a high density of food deserts, while in the Northeast sees relatively fewer food deserts.
I want that guy to look up the city of Fort Worth, and I want him, since he's so invested, right? It bothers me that people try to express things and it's just negated out of ignorance. I want him to pull up a Google map. Everybody do it, of Fort Worth, Texas. And then you look up the Walmarts that are in Fort Worth. And I want you to zoom in. I want you to zoom in on the east side of Fort Worth and you tell me where the nearest grocery stores are. Be for real.
All right, Ayana, I'm looking at one. It's south of Polytechnic Heights.
That's not the east side, sir. That's the Polytechnic Heights, yeah.
Boulevard.
So you're trying to tell me something, and I'm trying to explain to you that's not the east side of Fort Worth. That is going into the south side of Fort Worth, sir. The nearest one, I can tell you, the nearest one. This is why white people really gotta check that privilege. The nearest one, if you would have said off of 30. Right? And there's another one off of 287, which is still North Richland Hills area. That is not, it's in Fort Worth by technicality. But if you still zoom in on the east side, look up Meadowbrook, sir. Look up that area. There's nothing. Nothing. You're not going to tell me I'm right here. I can drive up and down and I can tell you. I drive a Benz. It's paid off. I live downtown. I sit in a point of privilege so that my child can have access. I know what I'm saying. So what you just pulled up, Polytechnic Heights, that's the south side, sir. Keep going. You're not going to find it. They've shut down all the Menards, Save-A-Lots, matter of fact, there were a few Walmart neighborhood markets, which is just a grocery store option of Walmart. They've shut them down. Sorry. So to say that, look at the nearest Walmart off 287 in Rosedale, and then the nearest one is off 30, sir. Now you look at what the radius is. I don't have time to sit up here and make this shit up. There's no access to fresh fruit. If people wanted to go in, so we're talking about now generational curses when you're talking about preparation and cooking food for your children.
Kids aren't eating Brussels sprouts and fresh green beans.
Timothy, that's why we're not having kids, okay, Timothy? It comes back around to that too. We can't afford all that.
That's a theory, Fifi. You cannot back it up with evidence. So
Yeah, you can. There is evidence.
Yes, you can, because like low income, it makes you least afford, like being able to afford the resources to be able to provide for a fucking child. But because you live in the Netherlands, and those educational systems over there are not very good compared to America. They don't teach you stuff like this.
no, it can justify why the birth rate, it contributes to the low birth rate. That's a fact. But the vaccines can also be the cause of this. We have enough data and evidence that the vaccines do replace sperm cells, that the vaccines do cause myocarditis, etc. So if you say
possible, hold on. Let me get him.
It's not made up. You're just ignorant.
It's possible that it might affect, your reproductive organs true enough, but that's not a fact for everybody, right? So the possibility doesn't mean that it actually happens 100% all the time, Mr. Netherlands.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying it can be contributing to the...
Yes, you did.
Data analysis ran study that supports your claim that the COVID-19 vaccine.
I'm sorry, the app kicked me out.
I can share the video with you if you want.
I want the guy with the S on his chest. Right?
The video is based on studies. So
I don't. Hold on, there's a couple of them in here.
Did he find a grocery store within a 3 to 5 mile radius on the east side of Fort Worth? I don't think he did. And if it's happening in my city, and I live in Dallas, Fort Worth, sir, right? And so I'm just giving you an example, a real live example of how this shit is real for people. So now think about the digestive tract of people who don't have fresh fucking food. I'm cussing because I'm passionate, not because I dislike anyone in the space. Okay?
Come on, you're an educator, though.
When people try to tell you that these are the lived experiences, especially of poor urban people, let's get out of the habit of just shutting shit to the side. I'm the one that made it. I'm very educated, and I've been accepted into Ivy League schools. Let's be clear, right? So people are trying to tell you what it is. At some point, you got to put your privilege to the side and welcome in the truth, someone else's truth. I'll wait here all day long. I can tell you right now, you're not going to show me a grocery store on the east side of Fort Worth. They don't exist. All right, now I'm done.
Thank you, Ayana. As you will find, and welcome to the white belts are us. You will find that there are different people that have S's on their chest in this club. So stick around and make sure you join us and follow club and stuff like that.
They like to argue, child.
I don't know if it's just ignorance or is it just like racism. I don't know which one it is. Because like I said, like the government literally has a definition and a whole website defining what it is and where these places are. And then you have thousands of nonprofit organizations that are formed to combat this issue. So like to just make it the claim that it doesn't exist, it's just crazy.
I think it comes from a sense of pride, and not far as like on some race, even though it affects like the black communities. Not a lot of people actually know this concept or are familiar with it, right?
I know it.
And so it's more so like, damn, how could this possibly be happening in America type shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is this food desert shit? Blah, 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 blah. We supposed to be one of the best countries in the world, but yet we got fucking food deserts right in the middle of where the fuck we live and shit. It's a couple in every state. It's a couple in every state. It's a couple in every state.
It's quite a few in every state. I mean, I'm just going to say this as somebody that has a nonprofit that addresses that.
I got something to say real quick. I'll be super fast.
It's in the
I
chat.
would rather spend money putting up grocery stores in these areas that you guys are talking about than I would spending money in Hamas on humanitarian support to the tune of $9 billion.
I shut that shit up. Instead of sending that $8 billion to Israel, we can fix the homeless problem.
It's a good point.
I was just gonna say, just as somebody that has a nonprofit that addresses these issues, I don't think it's ignorance. I just think it's stupidity at this point. We do community gardens in these so-called food deserts that people say don't exist. I'm in North Carolina. I can count on my hand at least 5 around the surrounding areas of West Charlotte. By itself, it's within a 1-mile radius. So I don't understand where the stupidity is coming from. I'm just going to call it for what it is. It's not ignorance because you know better. By definition, it's clear.
No, ma'am, it's clear that I didn't know that these things were defined the way that you're now defining it by poverty level. Now it makes sense, and therefore I understand all the points that y'all have made.
Okay, so I'm not necessarily addressing just you,
Yay!
Florida. I'm proud of you, Florida, because he has an open mind. I'm more addressing Timothy.
Yay! Like, you don't put the act of freaking God.
I still don't think the word food desert is the best thing to describe it.
Sir.
That's what it is, but that's
It's
minor.
a food desert. Sorry.
No. What he's saying is, when he think about food desert, but listen, when you think about food desert, you think about a place that, like a desert, like it's drained out of, water. Like, you don't see water when you think about a desert. I think when you say when it's a food desert, it's like a place with no food at all. Like, it's just dried up. But he's saying that you guys think that there is one, there's no healthy food.
No, I was talking about in rural areas where you have to drive 30 minutes in any direction to...
It ain't even got no good food attached to it, so that's what a food desert is.
But in Florida, you think that the better term would be like healthy food desert would be a better way to describe it?
Y'all are doing too much.
No, what's happening is it breaks the reality of a happy,
I would say
powerful America.
The closest and best thing that I can think to describe it would be health. Health like suppressed. Health suppressed. That's probably the best.
Wow. The way you're dancing around this city, let me tell you, it is a food desert, right? I'm saying this with all respect. And I love that Nathan brought up water. Because not to be funny, that's actually the next warfare. Okay? Because if we thought it was just Flint, Michigan, I'm sorry, it's not. It's Jackson, Mississippi. It's many major cities where they're tainting water, right? We see it's the ignorance for me. You get what I'm saying? So we like to limit, it's just because it's just good quality food, health restricted food deserts. It's a health restricted, all this shit you're about to just make up, sir. It's not. It's deeper than that. We're trying to express to you that anytime you taint with someone's food, right? Access to high quality food or their water system, that's a problem. And we got to stop thinking, that's just this area over here. It's popping up like flies at a barbecue, friend. We used to think it's just one area. It's everywhere now, and we're paying attention.
what are we doing?
It's happening in these urban areas. We're going to include water. We're going to include water in this too.
Well, can I ask you a question?
Florida, just a point of moderation. If you enjoy the ignorance and you enjoy educating the ignorant, join the house. We need you. I think take it off the go. Go ahead.
Yeah, so, Ayana, what is the USDA or Urban Development
I don't know.
Association?
USDA don't ask me some stat shit. This is crazy. I don't know.
Gotcha, because you seem to know a lot about the problem. I
don't know. Sorry. I don't work with the USDA. Let's not get disingenuous. Yeah, you can look whatever question you're about to ask me. How about you go to their website and ask them?
Or is he asking about stats or is he asking about solutions?
So you can talk a lot about the problem, but you don't know.
No, I have to educate you on the problem, sir, because up until 20 minutes ago, you didn't even know it existed. So because I'm educating you on the problem, you want me to have all the grand solutions. Listen to me, sir. I've gone to school with white people my entire life. You understand? Like, you are not going to do this dangerous little dance, sir. I can handle this. And I'm going to call out every step of your strategy along the way. So you mean to tell me now, after I had to fight you to accept that this problem exists. Now you want to have 10 solutions. Why is a man yelling with a woman? Why is a white man yelling with a woman? Can you rest in your masculinity while I finish speaking? I was not done speaking. You are being quite rude. You are being quite rude right now, white man.
That's right.
Let's have some decorum. I'm yelling because you're cutting me off. How feminine is this? This is immensely feminine, sir. No. I'm still speaking. You can't understand something if I'm still speaking, right? So my issue with that question is immensely disingenuous. Well, I don't know who your third grade teacher is, but she did a horrible job with you. I want to make sure I stamp that. She did an awful job with you, sir. Your third and fourth grade teacher needs work, and I won't even start to describe your parents. We're going to leave them alone today. But everybody needs refinement based on how the behaviors you're exhibiting in this basic conversation. So now you're going to invoke my emotions because you have frustrated this entire stage with your ignorance. Let's just talk at the same time then. We're going to just disrespect each other. I'm not listening.
I'm not disrespecting you.
Because yes, you are. When you are talking over someone, that's disrespectful. I don't know what basic debate team you were on, and you would have been removed, sir. I'm still speaking.
It's just going off about some.
No, I'm still speaking. Sit on that golf cart and just wait a second, okay, Florida man? Yeah, just enjoy the golf cart.
She's not the one, honey. Okay.
Yeah, and then now he wants to call me emotional. How passive aggressive and very feminine, right? What an awful approach. It is frustrating trying to express to someone a problem exists, and then once he finally acknowledges, see, this is where ego comes in. Sigmund Freud spoke about this. Yeah, your super ego is showing. I'm very educated, sir. We can do this dance, okay? All right. So now once I had to help you recognize that there's a problem. Now you want me to be the solution. I don't work for that's why I stopped you right there. I don't work for the USDA, sir. That's not my jurisdiction. That's not my lane. I hope I answered your question. God bless you.
May I answer the question a little bit further? I don't know, because I work along the USDA. USDA has a number of programs out there. They have grants for nonprofits that do work like this, like agriculture. So you do have to do the work with that, but also on the personal level, USDA offers loans for people to develop land, farms, and homesteads. There are salary caps on those for your family and stuff. There's a number of solutions out there if you really want to look for it. I don't know if he's still in the room. I think he left. But there are solutions if people would go out there, because there's not a lot of people that go for these grants.
So some of the initiatives on the government side that have been implemented by various administrations over the years have been the Healthy Food Financing Initiative. And I think that's what Alicia was talking about, where they give you grants to start like homesteads and attract grocery stores to certain underserved areas. They have the farmers market promotion program, food insecurity, nutrition incentive program, community food projects. And then they also have various nonprofits as well, I forget the name of the one, Feeding America. What is it? The Food Corps of America. There's a whole bunch of organizations and government grants that combat this issue. Like I said, I don't know if it's just ignorance or it's just purposely denying that these things exist.
I feel like a lot of times.
I never knew anything.
Oh, sorry, Mike.
No, it's all good. I'm fucking spoiled as fuck. I never knew anything like that existed. I've never been fucking more than a few miles away from a grocery store.
I feel like part of the dance that we have to do, and this is why I love debate and providing ethos, logos, and pathos arguments and sitting with people who are just different from me, is because I've noticed part of the dance isn't really how you're trying to convey the message. It's can you respond to the bullshit that they'll swing back on the pendulum. And I think that is just absolutely tiring. I think people just want to hear themselves sound articulate with these new words and vocabulary words. And I think it's counterproductive. Because if we actually had people who genuinely had different perspectives and were genuinely at the table trying to seek solutions or had the empathetic listening type of approach, right? Just listen with a little empathy. Okay, is it a 6 or is it a 9? Well, where I'm sitting from, it's a 6. But why do you keep saying it's a 9? Let me understand a little bit more, right? Like genuine interest, then we would get a lot further. But a lot of times these conversations get just stifled with people who are just committed to being right based on their perspective. And that ignorance is on both sides politically. I'm not here from a Democratic or Republican perspective. I'm just thinking about the egos of people. And it's sad.
But when you start addressing people's ego, you're not engaging in the argument anymore. You're engaging the individual. And that, in a sense, could be condescending, or it could be like an ad hominem saying that, hey, because this individual displays this type of ego, therefore I'm not going to address them, or they can't address the argument. That's just attacking the person.
No, but I think that it becomes a personal attack when it's actually just the truth. At what point do we just get to acknowledge, hey, you're intentionally being obtuse, right? Like, I loved when someone said, hey, you only read the first sentence of the second paragraph of the article. You have to call it out. So now it's an attack on the person and saying, hey, perhaps you don't have the capacity for this conversation. I'm so sorry. Don't let my confidence offend your insecurities. Right? Don't like at what point do we say, hey, it does a disservice to the conversation when you enter into the convo or into the debate like that? No, it's not a personal attack. If you don't qualify for something, this is that participation mindset. Everybody gets a trophy. Everybody does a good job. Some people fuck conversations up because you don't have the capacity. You don't qualify for the conversation.
Relax. The way you can convey a message, you can.
One mic on you, Timothy. One mic on you.
Relax. You can convey a message in a chill manner.
You just cussing out half the stage.
Relax.
You just cussed out half the stage, and you're telling me to relax. Do you not see that? Is it that you want the floor to relax, or you want me to relax? Because you just displayed a behavior 5 times worse than I did.
No,
because now you get to see me in action. Now you have a criticism. Yeah, you're full of shit too. Is that a personal attack, Nathan? Yeah, here we go. You're full of it.
No, you
just cussed out everybody in the chat and on stage. Are you for real right now? You relax.
Now we're not about to do this whole thing. Y'all on her like
listen,
that.
Ayana, I got attacked by 4 people.
That's a personal attack.
Nobody's attacking you, Ayana. So just relax.
Everybody that starts with an A. We're going to attack all of y'all. Huh? What y'all thought this was?
Yeah, no one's safe.
Here.
No one's safe.
That's not true. Apparently, if you're white and you're a woman, you're safe here. That's what the new trend is.
I don't know.
I don't see that.
I think everyone's got it.
Yeah, that's all fair. I don't see that.
You protect all the white women.
I don't see that. Don't you be protected? Tell them, lady. Tell them.
Yeah, some of them do be needing that. But hey, let me tell you something. There's a time that some of the people that weren't in here, Lion and Cora, bro, they have a path, and I'll tell you, it was not friendly, bro. It was fucking not friendly at all. Not Lion, I'm sorry. My bad. I'm sorry, Nathan. My bad. Nathan and Cora. Nathan and Cora in the past, like throughout the process of developing this room, bro, they would fucking go. Nathan wouldn't hold back at all either, bro.
And you know what, Mike? You was trying to say earlier.
The room got bigger and it's fucking more responsibilities. And it's like, look at you, why? Yeah, you're politician, right?
You make him mad enough. He gonna call you a BI.
No, I never. Wait. Mike, have you ever heard me call one of the women in here a bitch?
No, I haven't. No. I never heard how did when Tasha goes, here comes the mayonnaise, and all the white splaining and all that. That was like nobody would say that.
Oh my God! You ready to come to a whole reaction? Chicken and waffles. In case you guys didn't know, right?
No, this was for King. King was like he would smash a dike, so I was trying to show a picture of a dike.
Oh, y'all really want that conversation?
Did you really listen? You really gonna believe what Nathan just said?
No,
that I would say that. Thank you.
of course not. I'm going to.
Well, then you wasn't there for that. I thought it was you. Someone said that they don't care.
Come on, lady. Do you really think they gonna believe I would say that? Me?
I don't even think a dyke would have sex with the king.
Ray have written. You said what, shot?
Nothing.
Oh yeah.
Yo, what about Jacobus' statement about like masturbating and gay men?
Oh my God! Oh yeah. Listen,
that was bad, bro.
Listen, we took that argument in knowledge, but we both were saying that for years that if you do this, that means you're more inclined to, But it was like about 2 hours of that, man.
That shit, he said like
today was crazy, bro.
It was fucking funny.
A lot of people came out of the closet, bro.
Yeah, so Nathan basically admitted that him and everybody else on stage is gay, and we've been gay for the longest time. That's basically what happened.
That's something I could have told you guys, but it's
So I'm gonna fix your pH balance.
that's what happens when I sleep with you, man.
I like that, King. Show ass up. That's
It happens every time I sleep with you. You fuck it up. I'm fine. Then
out of
after
here.
a little fishy eyes. Like, what the fuck is going on? What is he doing? What is he doing behind my back?
Oh man, this is getting wild.
You full of shit.
He cheating. I'm gonna go get
He
my
gotta be
baseball bat.
cheating. Ain't no
I'm gonna go
way.
get my baseball bat.
You're
trying to say you cheating
Knock
a
the
man or
knees
something?
off.
Y'all know this line sound like you get a little pep in the step?
Hey, leave my man alone.
Exactly. He don't sound angry today.
Yeah. You noticed that too, right?
Don't be hating because we had a kid-free weekend.
It was one of those weekends. Okay.
I seen mine said yesterday. He come in with attitude, smiling.
Lady is extra nice.
Yep.
Well, I hope you
Line
got
come in.
pregnant.
Line came in.
No.
He had to relieve some stress. All that energy is gone now.
Right. Exactly. Now you in a better mood.
I'll be back tomorrow.
Everybody in a better mood.
I'm on my way.
Could you believe they told me I was wrong?
He on his way to work. He on his way back to work, so.
I'll be back to normal.
Usually you're more energized, bro. On your way back to work.
Lion, your profile picture is fire.
What I got? Oh,
get some water to borrow.
Yes.
Get some water.
Please get some water. Please
Yeah, get some water.
You said get some water.
I got that off of. I actually got that off of Facebook. Somebody else.
They think your PCR is disturbing.
Oh, well, shoot. Well, since you stole it, let me steal it. Hold on. Screenshot.
Right. Go ahead. Pass that around.
Nathan's screenshot, his damn profile picture is disturbing. I don't think I want to see Oprah with that much facial hair.
Right.
She already a hard looking woman.
Wait, in Florida still? Oh man, Ayana kicked his ass and he left. Oh shit.
Yeah, then he came back for like a millisecond. He still wasn't calm
He
down.
got his blood pressure up. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Ayana, hey look, you coming off that hot room that you had earlier up in that motherfucker and shit like that. And you coming in here shit up.
Because you know what, Kendo, this will always be the energy. It doesn't matter if I have to switch in my vernacular or if I have to just code switch it one good time.
Yeah.
The thing about it is I want people to find somebody else. Like, try somebody. I'm a very smart person. And I recognize the bullshit when it hits my face. You know what I'm saying? And then I just couldn't imagine a man screaming at his phone at a woman who couldn't finish her sentence because she called him out and said, well, what does the USDA have to say about this? I don't know. I'll have a board meeting with them tomorrow. What the fuck? Like, I don't work for the USDA. Like, be for real.
That's what cracked me up. I had popped in and then I left for a second because I had to restart my phone, but all I hear her saying is
into a corner and and that's the thing, right? That's one thing I will give Martin Luther King Jr. credit for, is that he taught us how to fight our oppressor. They're waiting for you to be ignorant so that way they can label you as something. No. You continue to debate them, and then you call them out on the rules to their game that they're violating, right? So like anybody that's been in a basic debate team, you can't cut anybody off. That's violation. So how are you responding to something I haven't even finished fucking saying yet?
No, well, sometimes it just feels good to get ignorant on a white person. I'll just say it like that.
And to get him out of body was everything. Those are the moments I live for. Love that for me.
Congratulations. You did that.
What's going on with your profile picture, though?
What you mean?
Like, it's I don't know.
That shit, that actually match my shoes right now if he turned that into a shirt.
Nah.
Did you see that shit? Didn't even say it was fire, bro. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, I can't say I'm feeling that one. I don't know.
That's why you can't live for somebody else's pleasure. You gotta live for what pleases you.
I know that's
I went to go see that movie Monkey Man.
Oh my God.
That's a double entendre, Concrete.
Yeah, we saw it.
Stop being racist,
You allowed that shit, Nathan. You allowed that shit for like 2 weeks straight with Monica ass asking me.
Oh no, I'm not saying it because of that. Monica doing it was funny.
No, it wasn't funny.
Like, you just don't like you just like when black people be racist, bro. You don't like when white people be subtly racist. That is the most hilarious thing.
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't subtle. If you asking every black person that you run across, have you seen Monkey Man?
And look at it, bro. It was their reaction.